What up, y'all? It's the Real Ball Watcher. Grab your binoculars, and I'm back with another video. You already know what it is, Shedeur Sanders. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about him. Share it with your friends, and go follow the TikTok and the IG for my giveaway for those 2 free tickets. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We're gonna switch up the order of these videos for this video. We're gonna kind of do it like how Bryce Young videos was, where the bad was first, good was second. It's only fair. So first thing I want to talk about is his pocket presence. Shedeur's pocket presence is, I really thought it was bad until I watched the film on this what was it, North Dakota State game. I was like, okay, it looked like he's improving a little bit. So it's up and down, I'll say that. He doesn't feel where rushers are. If you don't know what pocket presence is, it's not seeing a rusher being able to move, it's feeling the pressure. It's being able to step up in the pocket, when knowing when to drop, kind of fade backwards, when to keep dropping back, when to just maneuver to the right, to the left, making guys miss within the pocket. Not necessarily running, but just moving slightly when you feel the pressure coming from the left. There's been plenty of clips that I have where he just doesn't feel the pressure where it's coming from, so he gets his arm hit when he throws it, or he gets sacked, or you know, they kind of mess up the throw, they get an easy pressure on him, or he'll be, let's say, rolling out, or he'll be moving, he'll leave a clean pocket and kind of get himself in trouble by rolling or sliding into pressure. Those aren't good pocket presence. Those are things that you don't have when it's good pocket presence. Somebody who looks up to Tom Brady was one of the best guys when it came to pocket presence. That's why he wasn't very mobile. He couldn't move much, but because his pocket presence was so good, he was able to avoid sacks. So I think he may improve on that. It's something hard to improve on, but I think he could improve on that since Tom Brady is somebody he studies. But yeah, it's plenty of times where he runs into sacks, he kind of slides into sacks, he doesn't feel the pressure, things like that. So he's going to need that to be better, especially for the type of quarterback that I think he is, like a pocket passing quarterback. He's going to need that pocket presence, which I'll talk about the next thing. He's not a dynamic rushing threat. He's not a super dynamic athlete. He's not an Anthony Richardson. Hell, I don't even think he's the athlete that Bryce Young is. I don't think he has the same agility and make guys miss ability that Bryce Young has. Somebody that's not even a super crazy freaky athlete to avoid sacks and things like that, whether he felt it coming or not. So that's why that pocket presence matters for somebody like him, because he's not such a dynamic rushing threat. Of course, he'll be able to get out of the pocket and scramble. I mean, everybody can get out of the pocket and scramble. There's plenty of times where he has some 20, 30-yard touchdown runs on, not necessarily design runs, but, you know, broken plays where he just took it up the middle, nobody's looking. He's not slow by any means, but he's not going to be a guy where the pocket breaks down, or a media rusher comes through and he's going to be able to shrug multiple guys off, juke multiple guys. You're not going to be able to use him as a design runner. He just doesn't have that agility, quickness. He's not super duper strong where he's just breaking tackles and running through guys like Anthony Richardson, Cam Newton. That's not him. So having a bad pocket presence and not being a dynamic athlete, those are two things that don't coincide. So that would be things that don't necessarily work for him. Next thing I want to talk about is accuracy when it comes to throwing downfield or deep. First off, accuracy is the ball in the right place. Accuracy is the ball in the right place every single time. The more consistent you are, is the more accurate you are. It's not just throwing a good ball. Everybody can go throw a good ball here and there. It's being consistent with that, and he's not consistent with it at all. He can overshoot guys. Plenty of times where he's overthrowing guys, overshooting guys. He's underthrown guys. Guys have to come back to the ball. Now it does result in pass interference sometimes, things like that. But I mean, depending on what offense you go to, if you have a speedster and the guys beat him by 2-3 yards and you underthrow it, would you rather have the pass interference or the touchdown? Like, it's plenty of clips where Travis Hunter has to come back to the ball and make a super acrobatic, tough catch, or he overshoots Jimmy Horn Jr. or somebody like that who has a couple steps on a defender and just misses him deep. So that's something that can be fixed, though. It's not like pocket presence where it's hard to improve, or being a dynamic rushing threat where he can't really do much about that. It's just his genetics. This can be improved by just simply repping, getting timing better with receivers, getting his timing down, things like that. Something he can improve. Next thing I want to talk about, for somebody that's going to be a pocket passer, what I think he'll be best at in the league, he has to get better with his pre-snap command. Now, I'm not in the meeting rooms, I'm not in the film sessions, so I could be completely wrong. But with so many sacks and free rushers that I've seen at him in Colorado, it doesn't look like his pre-snap. It doesn't look like he's given too much responsibilities when it comes to pre-snap. Now, I could be wrong, and if that's the case, then he's not doing the best job of managing it pre-snap. Like, people talk about, never mind, we'll talk about it later. But when it comes to his pre-snap, you want to have a little bit more command to be able to call out a blitz or call out a protection. Hey, I see the defense is doing this. We're going to audible to this. Tom Brady was also really, really good at that. Hey, pick up this guy. I know the blitz is coming from here pre-snap. I don't even have to do much because I know I done deciphered the defense, whatever they were trying to hide from me. I know this linebacker's coming. This defensive end is going to drop into his zone. I know I'm going to tell Edelman, hey, you just do a slant right from where that linebacker is coming from. I'm going to hit you. Nobody's going to be there because it's a blitz. Now we got 10 yards. So he needs to get better at his pre-snap command from what I've seen on film. Could be wrong, but I think that will help him at the next level be really, really great. Let's get into the stuff that's actually good. Not stuff that's not his game no more, but his strengths now. Now, I've done enough trashing the boy. Let's get into his actual strengths. I'm just kidding. Let's get into his actual strengths. First thing I want to mention is he is a fearless passer. I mean, bro, it doesn't matter the window. It doesn't matter the situation. If he sees something open, he sees the concept open, he's going to hit it. That's another thing I want to mention right quick. He's going to be able to run the concept. If everything is on script, he's going to be really, really good. So let's get that out of the way. So if the concept is open, he's going to hit it. He's going to hit it in tight windows. He's going to hit it way downfield while he's getting pressured. He's going to be able to roll out and move and hit guys on the run. He's going to be able to just, hey, him and Travis, he will throw it up to Travis and say, bro, go get the ball. We seen it in the North Dakota State game. It was 2 of Travis touchdowns where he wasn't even open. And Shedeur's just like, hey, bump it. Just give him the ball and see if he can go get it. There's plenty of times where he does that. Travis will be completely covered. He's like, just throw it up. And in the NFL, where the windows are much tighter, guys aren't necessarily open the same way that they were in college. There's a reason there's the thing called NFL Open. That's going to bode well for him. He's already used to throwing in the tight situations. He's already used to giving his receivers a shot and just saying, F it. So that is great as a pocket passer, that he's going to be fearless like that and not be afraid to put the ball where he needs to put the ball. One of his best strengths is his fearlessness as a passer. He doesn't necessarily have this super cannon of an arm. His arm kind of reminds me of CJ Stroud's, where it's not super velocity, super deep passes, even though CJ Stroud can throw it pretty far. But it's much more placement and accuracy. And he has the placement and fearlessness to put a ball into any window that he thinks he can get it into. He's not afraid to take it. And he doesn't throw a whole bunch of interceptions. He's not really careless with the ball. So it works out for him being as fearless as he is, and it makes his offense super explosive. I mean, we've seen Colorado games. Super explosive offense. Next thing I want to talk about, he is poised under pressure. Now, I know I talked about his pocket presence not being super good, and that's more about feeling guys and not running into sacks, things like that. But he's not one of those get under Jared Goff's, one of those get under pressures, those Sam Darnolds. I get under pressure and I just forget to play. I just don't even know what we're doing. I'm just like in panic mode. No, there's plenty of times where guys are bearing down on him. He just throws it where the concept is supposed to be, or he'll be able to get out of the pocket, create a play a little bit, throw it downfield for a completion. We've seen it against North Dakota State where he was able to roll out, hit a guy downfield plenty of times, or he was getting hit while throwing the ball way downfield to Jimmy Horn or Travis Hunter or somebody like that, and it, turns into a big play. So under pressure, Shedeur is really, really calm, and it's kind of genetics, I want to say. I think he's just ready for the moment at all times. So he's not ever, hey, I don't know what I'm doing right now, I don't need to know. He's always on script. He's always on schedule. And you're not going to necessarily knock him off of that or get him rattled. A lot of times, even in the Oregon game where they were just getting dogged, he's getting sacked all the time, he still didn't look super rattled in that game. So I like his poise under pressure, and for a pocket passer, which I think he will be, that is going to help him at the next level also, especially with that fearlessness. You'll be able to put the ball somewhere under pressure. Those kind of coincide hand in hand. Just really, really good. Another thing that I want to talk about that kind of coincides with those things is his clutch. I didn't watch Deion Sanders. Look, I'm 23. I didn't watch Deion Sanders as a kid, so I don't know if he was clutch or not. I know he was nice, but I don't know if he was clutch or not. But if he was, the clutch gene was passed down to Shedeur. Because, dog, there has been plenty of games where the Buffaloes come back into the game. I think about USC. I think they were down 35-14 or 35-7, something like that. Came all the way back. It's just something whenever he's down or whenever it's the fourth quarter, it's a tight game. We've seen the TCU game, that first game that they ever played at Colorado, where they was able to make a comeback win or a last-second touchdown win. And then whenever it is time for clutch time, he calls it Brady time. whenever it's time for that, he turns into somebody else. I mean, he's starting to move around in the pocket, break tackles, and throw the ball deep. He's going to do what it needs to get done whenever it's clutch time. Like, so I don't know what it is with something, but Flip just switches with him. He's just throwing the ball everywhere, moving. He's on time all the time, super accurate. He's able to get points on the board in short amount of time, no matter who he's throwing it to. So he can engine you a comeback on his own with his own offense, if that's what I'm trying to say. It's really, really, really good clutch player. Whether they lose or win the game or not, he'll get you back into the game. He'll win you the game. He'll make it really, really close no matter what the score is. So you got to watch out for that, and that's a really good trait to have with a quarterback. When the game's on the line, hey, you left him too much time. He's one of those guys. I love that clutch gene about him. Next thing I want to talk about, I wanted to put this at the bottom. Now, he's not, like I said, he's not some super, super dynamic athlete. He's not going to be able to be Mike Vick or Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton, anything like that. But whenever he is out of structure, talk about how he doesn't have this super cannon of an arm. So he needs his mechanics to be great, or really, really good, so it's always accurate and he always getting as much power as he can. And he does a really good job, but when he's out of structure, resetting his feet and throwing the ball. A lot of people don't mention that a lot, but that can somewhat be a superpower, because a lot of guys, whenever they're pushed off platform, they're just going to try to make throws, and that's how you get errant passes, interceptions, incompletions, things like that. That's why a lot of guys can't play out of structure. But for somebody that's not super athletic, for him to be able to move and get out of structure, and while in the midst of plenty of defenders trying to bear down and hit him, able to sit there, square his feet up, and throw the ball quickly out of structure, that's a really good positive for your offense. Especially if it's somebody that's not he is a pocket passer. Somebody that is a pocket passer, the defense isn't expecting him to do much outside of the pocket. It's not going to be super QB contains and things like that. Having that added element will help a lot in your offense. Last two things I want to talk about. He's a deep shot taker. Bro, I feel like they throw the ball deep 10 times a game at Colorado. He's going to throw the ball deep, and he has a pretty deep ball. It's a rainbow ball where he'll throw it up and you can just go run under it, or he'll just throw it and give you a chance whether you covered it or not. We talked about it. We've seen it plenty of times with Travis Hunter. Most teams, I feel like, only throw the ball deep 2-3 times a game in the NFL. But for him, the type of offense you want those schemed up deep shots where he's just throwing it 7-8 times a game, maybe even more, because he's so good at throwing the ball deep. Now, we talk about how he needs to work on his accuracy, but he has such a good deep ball and pretty deep ball and rainbow accuracy, like a Russell Wilson was in Seattle after he won those Super Bowls and when he wasn't the game manager anymore. You want to dial up those shots and get guys that can win deep for things like that. So really, you're going to have an explosive offense, and you're going to have to guard every inch of the field if you're playing him in the NFL, because he will throw it deep. Whether you got a one-on-one covered or not, he'll throw it deep and give his guy a chance. So that just opens up the field and stretches the field out and makes it a lot harder for defense to guard you, because hey, we can't creep up on the line and just sit here, because he'll throw it deep whether his guy is covered or not, and they'll just say, go make a play. Some quarterbacks are scared to do that. Some quarterbacks don't like to just throw it up when they're covered. He will do that. He's a deep shot taker and deep shot maker. Last thing I want to talk about, finally, I say he has A or A- actually in short to intermediate. Really, really, really important, because I talked about his deep accuracy or downfield accuracy not being good. But from short to intermediate, 15 yards below, 20 yards and below, he's really, really accurate. It's rare that I see him really be super off the mark. If it is, it's because he's a tad early on an anticipatory throw, like an out or something like that. But most of the time, he is super duper accurate, and he just takes what's there. I mean, he can run your offense. He'll run a pro style offense plenty of times at Colorado, where they're just, hey, we're doing a hitch, we're doing a swing, we're doing things like that. He'll get it to his guys in stride and deal with that, But then when it's time to take a shot, now they just blew the lid off the defense because of that. So really good actually in short to intermediate, which is obviously important for somebody that's going to be a pocket passer. That's something that you want. So let's get into his player build now. Now, when it comes to Shedeur's player build, I got him as a fearless pocket passer. He's not this super athletic guy who you're going to be able to build a running offense around, or you're going to rely on him to run and make plays out of structure like a Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson back in the day on those bootlegs, Patrick Mahomes, things like that. He's not super athletic. He's not going to be your Lamar Jackson, guys like that, where you're able to use that athletic threat to get into him. And I think what's best is, hey, you get him in a pocket, you scheme up plays, you get your scheme going. I'm just imagining him in somebody's offense like the Shanahan type offense, like the 49ers or the Texans. That's another Shanahan type offense, or the Lions. Somebody like replace him with a Jared Goff, somebody who's much better out of structure when Jared Goff, and when the pressure gets there, he would be so great because he sticks to the script and he just runs the offense as is and is not afraid to put the ball in the tight windows. So I like him as a fearless pocket passer. This is kind of getting phased out in NFL, but somebody who like a CJ Stroud has kind of brought that back into the fold, and a couple of other guys I got listed on here. But let's go and get to the shades of. First thing that I want to talk about is Joe Burrow. I think he reminds me of what Joe Burrow can be because of one thing. When you look at Joe Burrow highlights, or you go on Twitter and people are posting videos of Joe Burrow, they're like, yo, he doesn't do anything. He's just throwing the ball up and letting his receivers make a play. Sound like somebody we just mentioned? But what guys are not understanding is Joe Burrow is a master pre-snap. He's always going to have the offense in the right play call because he's going to read the defense, see where the safeties are, see where the blitzes come from. Hey, we have a terrible offensive line, but I'm going to set the protection up to where it gives me just enough time to take this deep shot. I'm going to pick up this blitzer. I'm going to tell Jamar Chase to run this instead of that. It's going to get him into an open hole. I'm going to hit him, and now he can make a play. I'm going to tell T. Higgins, hey, that man is pressing you. I know this safety has rolled down. You're going to have one-on-one and like a cover 3. They're also blitzing, so you slide this way, and I'm going to hit him. I think if Shedeur can get that, that's why I talked about his pre-snap questions earlier and the stuff that's not necessarily his game. Because if he can add that, I think he can be like a Joe Burrow-esque player. And I want to mention that because he looks up to Tom Brady. He has a close relation to Tom Brady and a mentorship from Tom Brady. And Tom Brady always talks to him and preaches to him about watching film, getting in the film room, getting those things right. So if he's able to have that type of mind with the accuracy and the fearlessness that he does, watch out. He could be really, really good, especially in one of those offenses like I said, the Texans, the 49ers, the Lions, things like that, where the coaching, offensive coaching is so good that they're going to scheme guys open. Having somebody that can just hit those schemed up throws and things like that and keep your offense on schedule, but also be able to hit those deep shots when you need them would be super duper scary. I'm just saying. Next dude I want to talk about is CJ Stroud. He reminds me of CJ Stroud because they both had issues with their pocket presence in college. They both were kind of not necessarily known for their athleticism outside of the move and things like that. But CJ Stroud is another guy who's just going to keep your offense on schedule. Keep your offense on schedule. Everything that I just said about Shedeur, whenever it's, hey, we're going to scheme up this play and you're going to hit this backside dig. You're going to hit this deep shot. All of that stuff, it's the same thing with CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud doesn't have as much, responsibility pre-snap like a Joe Burrow, but everything else when it comes to throwing the ball on time, getting it to your receivers with space so they can move, giving your guy a chance downfield, throwing it downfield, things like that, hitting those deep shots. CJ Stroud is a perfect example of a quarterback in that type of system. Now, the difference is I think CJ Stroud has much better arm talent because of his accuracy. He's able to place the ball where he wants to. Like they said, some people can hit a house, some people can hit a door, some people can hit the doorknob, some people can hit the keyhole. CJ Stroud is the keyhole type of guy. I think Shedeur is more of a door, maybe doorknob, but more of a door type of guy. So that's what separates the two for me. Last person I got is Geno Smith. You look at Geno Smith, the best thing he's done since being in Seattle or being in the league period is simply take risks downfield. Fearless passer, throws it in the tight windows, throws it up to DK, hit guys in stride, throws it up to Tyler Lockett. Even JSN last year got a couple of passes where it was just like, all right, he's covered, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it up to him. Fearless passer, doesn't matter what type of window it is. Geno Smith will go throw it to him. I think at the bottom level, whether it's bad Geno or good Geno, I think Shedeur can be somebody like that. I think if, say like Dave Canales had Shedeur, it would be in the offense just like the Seahawks had last year or the 2 years before when before Canales and all those guys left. So that's the kind of floor for me, whether you want to say it's the bad Geno or good Geno. I can see his career being something like a Geno Smith. But that's all I really got, man. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, share it with your homies. Let me know what you think about Shedeur Sanders and how you feel. And go follow the Instagram and the TikTok at The Real Ball Watcher so you can enter the giveaway to win 2 free tickets to an NFL game. I'm out. See y'all next week. Put your binoculars up.